I'm meteorologist Josh Linker. Thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. Temperatures for the last couple of days have been above average after a long stretch of colder than normal weather. And now we're going to be on the warmer side of things for a few days. And we can see this rise in the temperatures that has taken place over the last couple of days. You go back to last weekend, we were in the 60s. Then we got just a little bit above average. And there we go, going up into the low 80s yesterday. And we'll be near there today. It's all going to depend upon who gets the chance to see some of that sunshine. It's not going to be a lot of sunshine, but we had a lot of low clouds and fog out there this morning. And now some spots are seeing some of that blue in the sky, and you're definitely warming up if you are seeing that. Here we go to the satellite imagery, and we notice the main area of cloudiness is to the north of us. However, we see the low clouds that are overhead here. And it takes a while for those to break up this time of year. The sun angle is still very, very low. And unfortunately, if you want some sunshine, it's harder to get with this type of weather pattern. And we also have the fog. The air is very humid. The dew point is warmer than the water temperature. And that is key because that sets up the sea fog. So we look at our fog forecaster here through the afternoon. It's going to be over the Gulf, and then it'll start to come in as we go through the evening hours. And then overnight, fog just settles in all over the place, and some of it could be locally dense by tomorrow morning. As we go through the mid-morning hours, the fog will break up again, and we'll be confined to just a sea fog scenario, which may come in earlier tomorrow than today as the wind goes onshore a bit earlier. For the rest of this day, mostly cloudy, some areas partly sunny. A shower will be possible. Not much of a rain chance, however, the high of 82. Overnight, partly cloudy, humid, areas of fog, some of it dense, 67, and tomorrow partly sunny. The coastal fog will come in. It'll also be cooler along the coast, but most areas should warm again into the low 80s. I'll be back with your 7-day, and we're going to get you through the New Year holiday. That's coming up in less than 10 minutes. But first, here is another look at Klystron 9. Hello and thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. I'm meteorologist Josh Linker. What we're talking about today is the warmth and humidity that will continue for the next couple of days. This will take us through New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, where we're expecting quiet weather but staying on the warm side. Then changes will come up late in the week. A cold front will put an end to the warm pattern, and we'll actually see some rain chances, and then colder weather comes in by the end of the week. And we'll talk all about that with the 7-day coming up in just a moment. Warm and humid out there. We do have a lot of low clouds, but they've been breaking up a little bit, and even just a little bit of sunshine that some spots are getting has really helped those temperatures warm up. There's a front to the north that's been the focus for a couple of showers. As it sags southward a little bit, we're just going to stay on the warm side of things, staying kind of humid. Overnight and coastal fog will be an issue through New Year's Eve morning. After that, we do get a little bit of drying to take place, and that should limit our fog formation, lowering the humidity a touch, so some morning temperatures will be a bit more comfortable by about the middle of the week. But no real rain chance out there despite the humidity. We may see a pop-up shower, but it should be light and brief. The sky will become partly sunny. It's been cloudy, then mostly cloudy, then we'll see some breaks of sunshine. And some coastal fog will come back in through the afternoon as that onshore wind develops. We go county by county, and today upper 70s, some low 80s out there this afternoon. It's all going to depend upon that sunshine coming in. Coastal spots will be cooler with an onshore wind. 82 though in Brooksville this afternoon. In Pasco County, we're going to see upper 70s near the coast to low 80s over inland spots. Temperatures running about 10 to 12 degrees above normal for this time of year. 83 to 84 should do it for you in Polk County with some breaks in the cloud cover. 83 in Lakewood Ranch, but 73 right along the water at Anna Maria. On to Pinellas County, where temperatures today will warm to 76 in Tarpon Springs and Clearwater, 79 in St. Petersburg. Some fog will come back in for you. And finally in Hillsborough County, we'll see 80 in Citrus Park, 82 in Tampa and Brandon. Plant City will also see a high of 82 degrees. Now, if you have boating plans today, again, the problem is going to be some of that fog out there. The visibility will be reduced, and it may thicken up a little bit more as we go through the late part of the day along the Nature Coast. Around Tampa Bay and the Sun Coast, same thing. The wind pattern is light. Southeast to southwest wind staying at or below 10 knots, but the visibility, that may be a problem through the day with that fog. Here's your 7-day forecast. And I put a 10% rain chance in there today. It's less than that, but there may be a passing shower. And look at these highs through about Tuesday, highs in the low 80s. And then we notice those lows getting more reasonable. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday into the mid 60s. New Year's Eve, no weather problems. And then the next rain chance will come in Thursday into Friday, and will ultimately cool things down quite a bit by the end of the week. That's your 7-day forecast. Here is the latest pollen forecast. It is for the next 3 days, and it is brought to you by Famous Tate Appliance and Bedding Centers. It's time now for the latest from Klystron 9. It's just about half past the hour. Hello and thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. I'm meteorologist Josh Linker, and it's warm and humid out there by late December standards. We're running about 10 degrees above average for our high today, 80. 76, 74 this evening with some of that fog coming in. If you have beach plans for the rest of the day, foggy conditions will be out there. Otherwise, some low clouds, still some breaks in the cloud cover. Not a bad beach day, but look out for that visibility to reduce by later in the day. The sun will set at 5:44. I'm going to be back with much more on your forecast in just 10 minutes with Weather on the Nines. Hello, I'm meteorologist Josh Linker. Thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. Well, this month has been very wet. We've had a couple of rain events, but the last week has been pretty dry, but we're still way above average. 8.69 inches of rain has fallen in December, and I don't really see any more opportunities through the rest of the month, ultimately the rest of the year, for any real chance of measurable rainfall. So we'll end up more than 6 inches above normal by the time December finishes. And for the year, we're way above normal as well. And we'll be talking about that coming up in the next couple of days. As we look at the satellite imagery here, lots of clouds in place. The flow of air is coming in from the southwest. This is the flow of air aloft, and that sets us up for quiet conditions here. At the surface, we have a light southerly component to the wind that's keeping the humidity up and has allowed some of that fog to be in place. Here's the water vapor satellite imagery. This shows us where the moisture is higher up in the atmosphere. The blue is the moisture, so we've got a lot of extra clouds in place. But we kind of make out how things are moving, just like this. And there's this ridge of high pressure building in. So that's going to keep the storm systems away for the next several days. We'll go to about Thursday, and that's when the next opportunity for some changeable weather will be coming in. Cooler along the coast through the afternoon, but most spots will still get to the low 80s. Coastal fog will come in this evening, and temperatures will hold in the 70s. Now, the big weather story around the country is that the storm systems haven't gotten going just yet. We have very quiet conditions, a couple of little spotty areas of precipitation around the nation, but there's a lot of cold air out there everywhere except for here in the southeast. Florida stays warm, the southeast on the mild side, but a lot of folks are feeling winter across the country today. That'll last for the next few days, and eventually that cooler air comes our way, and we'll tell you when with the 7-day forecast. It's coming up in less than 10 minutes. But first, here's another look at Klystron 9. Hello, I'm meteorologist Josh Linker. Thanks for staying with us here for Weather on the Nines. Well, we're just coming up on New Year's Eve in a couple of days, and if you've got any kind of plans that involve the outdoors at all, it's going to be just fine. Temperatures as we approach midnight will still be around 70 degrees, so very comfortable stuff out there. Warmer than average, no big cool downs or anything like that. So if you're planning your attire for New Year's Eve, the heavy coat does not need to be coming out for that. So here we go to the satellite imagery now, and we see a lot of clouds, but what we're noticing here is the flow of air aloft. We can see this moving with the clouds here from Mexico across Texas and then on up into the mid-Atlantic states. And we're south of that, so we stay warm and humid. The cold air well to the north will hold off coming in here for at least a couple of days. We'll go to the end of the week before we see any kind of cool down. The front generally stays to our north. It will settle southward a little bit, but for the most part, this thing falls apart. It will open the door, however, for some drier air that's been to the north of us by Monday into Tuesday to come in. That will limit how much fog we get for New Year's Eve day and New Year's Day, and those lows will be a little bit more comfortable. Instead of upper 60s to near 70, we'll be in the lower 60s for a few days. But the main show out to the west still stays away. Here we go into Monday afternoon and on into the evening for New Year's Eve. Just after midnight here, things looking pretty quiet. The next cold fronts will be out to our west still and won't get in here till later in the week. So for today, some 70s near the coast. Low to mid 80s will be found over inland spots. I'm not going to rule out a shower, but the rain chance is very, very low today. And if you want to get out on the boat, the one thing you're really going to need to be aware of is the fog. That reduced visibility can be hazardous out there on the water, especially if the wind pattern is light and everything is very, very smooth out there. That combined with the reduced visibility does make seeing a problem out there on the water today. Here's your 7-day forecast, and temperatures stay way above average by about 10 degrees through Wednesday. Lows in the 60s, but again, we see those going down a little bit, so a bit more comfortable for a few days. Then we'll go into Thursday and ultimately Friday with a rain chance, not an all-day rain either day. It will likely end up being late Thursday into early Friday before we cool things down to end the week. That's your 7-day forecast. Another check of the weather is coming up at the top of the hour, but first, here's another look at Klystron 9. The time is 11:59. Hello and thank you for joining us here for Weather on the Nines. I'm meteorologist Josh Linker, and we have some humid conditions out there right now. We look at our dew point, 71. That is really high for this time of year. We're in the humid category, and this is the scale we use even heading into the summer, where our dew points are really only a couple of degrees warmer than where they are now. So really humid stuff out there. Temperature is going to warm up to about 80 or so. It will be cooler along the coast, and then as we head into the evening, the coastal fog, that sea fog, will start to come in, and visibility will be reduced along the coast, and that'll be the case for everybody later on tonight. We'll talk more about that. I'll show you our fog forecaster for the next 48 hours coming up with weather.